Hello, welcome. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hi, Brijesh. Every single week, I love seeing the same faces. Thank you for hanging in there with me. Today is very exciting, and we are going to go out of Claude today. Well, we'll still be in Claude, but out of chat and co-work and into actually doing some build stuff. So it's going to be fun. I'm really excited. Thank you very much for joining you all. This is our first time we are doing a Friday session. Happy Friday to you too, Carl. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah, usually we show up on Saturday. This week and from here on out going forward, we're going to meet on Fridays because we are starting our cohort tomorrow. And a lot's going to happen. Super excited for the cohort to start. And it's yeah, great to see you as well, everyone. Thank you so much, Mehul. Appreciate you all showing up. Brennan, hey, long time. Brennan is my partner in crime. Brennan is also a another mentor coach, provides awesome lessons for product managers, strategy on Maven. So do check Brennan out. Brennan, thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks.
awesome.
Super
Excited for you.
excited for all of you to be here today. We are going to get started. All right. Today's actually posted something this morning because I was talking to a friend of mine over the weekend and last weekend, and he was saying that he's looking for a job, but it's finding really hard. Awesome experience, very intelligent person, has done some amazing work, but has a positioning problem, struggles showing up with his best self, struggles. Most humble people, I think, have this. Very smart, incredibly talented people, but if you're humble, if you grow up being learning and being taught not to brag about yourself, you find really hard building credibility in public. And that's kind of what I was talking to him about. And I was like, um, talking about your work is not bragging. It doesn't have to be crass. But if you don't talk about your work, no matter how good that work is, people won't know you. Opportunities won't find you. And this is something sometimes I struggle with too. Like I'm talking on LinkedIn about the course, and I'm like, you know what? No, I'm here to help people, and I want people to find the work that I'm doing, and that's all that is about. It's not about being the loudest person in the room. It's not about being the most talented, the smartest person in the room. It's all really about how do we share our expertise, the stuff that we have done, the proof of the work, that incredible work that we have all done in public in a way that people can find it. And as they do, opportunities find you and you find the right opportunities. That's kind of the idea there. All right, so let me actually start sharing my screen. And this is all we are talking about today, by the way. So it's a little bit different than our previous sessions where we go on whiteboard and we talk about ML concepts and we talk about AI concepts and how AI learns. We are talking career acceleration because we are doing a three-part series on AI career acceleration for any and all domains. So no matter what domain you are in, I'm sure a lot of you have heard that uh, companies want people to be focused on AI. Companies want people to be AI native. And the way I think about it is someone's going to be the go-to person, the go-to AI person in your org, in your department. So why not you? And that's kind of what we're talking about. All right, let me share my screen real quick. For those of you who are new here and who have not seen me present or who don't know me, my name is Keyuri Anand. I work as a director of AI products at a B2B SaaS company called Applied Systems. We focus on insurance domain. I've spent the last 15 years building products, both AI, machine learning, non-AI, all of it. The key I also sit on a couple of boards advising on the actual practice of AI and product management. The key is none of that. The real key I want you to know about that is relevant to this discussion and the course and everything I do in Maven is that I'm not a computer science engineer. I'm not a technical person. When I first started on my own learning journey, I didn't know how to read code, never mind write code. A lot of it is self-taught. And as I've self-taught, I like to teach because it helps me clear my own concepts first and make complex technical concepts simple. And I've been told over the years that I'm good at that. So I figured why not, help a whole bunch of people. Because when I was trying to learn AI, like generative AI as it is today, when right after ChatGPT first came out, there weren't that many content providers or teachers or trainers or creators, educators in the market that focused on non-technical people. So I had to learn a lot of this the hard way, reading technical papers and distilling a lot of that out. Of course, ChatGPT and Gemini and then Claude were my go-to partners. But I spent numerous numbers of hours filtering the noise from the signal. So that's why I created this course. Last 2 years, I was teaching AI product management stuff on Maven and again, focused on highly technical. Now there are a lot of people doing that. So I figured why not focus on other people who are like me, non-technical, want to learn and upskill in AI and want to become the go-to AI person in their org and see how that might open opportunities for you. So that's kind of why I'm here. And quick housekeeping. Cameras on if you can. It helps me stay engaged. It helps me see the nods and the smiles to know that I haven't put you to sleep. You are, of course, meeting me on a working day. So I do understand if you are multitasking or you are at work, and that's completely cool. But if you can, please keep the cameras on so I can see all faces and feel like I'm talking to real human beings. Mic's off. If you can, please, we'll have a section at the end for questions. So I'm more than happy to stay and answer any questions. Reactions and emojis. If you like something, something resonates, uh, emojis. If something doesn't make sense, also emojis, so I can double click on that. Thank you. All right, let's actually get started. What you will leave with from here today is a framework. So we are talking about building our AI portfolio. So if you've been with me over, this is my 7th lightning session. We did a series on Claude for Dummies. So if you want to find that, you can find that on Maven. We'll also put it in the email that goes out as a summary of this session, so you can watch those. A lot of previous sessions have been about building AI agents and learning cloud all the way from basics, like that, all the way from ABC, and actually getting to building your own agents. So today we are talking about, say you've built agents, that's great. You know what those agents do, that's fantastic. Now you want the world to know what you have built and hopefully use that to open doors for you. And that's what we are talking about. And that's where the AI portfolio comes into play. Think of this like a website with all this, like a showcase, like a showroom for all the work that you have done. So you can share it with your prospective employers, your colleagues, anyone who you want to share it. You can share it on LinkedIn, you can share it with the world, basically. And so you'll leave with a framework of what that portfolio needs to have, like what are some of the key things that it needs to have. I'll also touch upon what makes for a bad portfolio, so you know where the boundary is of what good looks like and what not to do. Um, and then in the last session, we built a meeting follow-up agent. By the way, if you didn't attend the last session, in this deck that will be sent out, the recording can be found on this link here. So you can just click on that link and find the recording. And then a template to build your own AI portfolio and a handout that you can follow step by step with a prompt that you can copy and put in Claude Design to build your own portfolio. and how to actually convert that portfolio, take it out of Claude and publish it on GitHub. So you can share one link with, you can put that link on your resume, you can share it to prospective recruiters, employers, whoever you need to share that with, to show, not tell, what you know about AI. So this will be your proof that you are uh, familiar with and you know how to build AI agents and stuff. Cool. So again, I think if I haven't already sold the idea of AI portfolio enough, let me sell that idea a little bit more. You're already doing the work and if you're not getting the visibility, and if you are like me a year ago who was super shy and kind of not comfortable bragging about my own work, then this is one way to really build credibility. And instead of talking about what you've built, you can actually show. So let the work do the talking and you don't have to do the talking. So that's kind of the idea. So instead of telling your manager and your work that you built an AI agent, you can actually publish it on a site and send them a link saying, hey, look what I built. I would love it if you tried it and gave some feedback. That way it doesn't feel like bragging, but it still gets the point across that you have done the work. And as somebody who hires people, who manages people, I think that's a great signal. Like, I come across so many people who will talk a big talk, but when it comes to executing on it, it- the numbers get smaller and smaller. So this one way, I have immense amount of respect when somebody sends me a link of a working product or an agent and says, hey, could you try this out? And I built this. And I'm like, even if that thing doesn't work, the fact that you built it and the fact that you were bold enough to put it out in the world is just, there is a there is a lot of respect for that. Okay, so um, document every agent that you build. Even if you don't think it's perfect, you can make it to a point where you feel comfortable putting it out in the world and then let the work do the talking. You can put it on the website and how to actually build it. The other reason to do it is that it's a living record of what you've automated. I love this because now when I go back to some of the agents or some of the even projects that I built when ChatGPT first came out with projects like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I think. And it's just such a um, great reflection on how far the technology has come and also how far I have come. Sometimes when I need a pick me up, I'll look at the old stuff 3 years ago and be like, look, I knew nothing back then, and look how much I've learned. And I don't know, it's just a great gratitude moment for me for uh, all the progress that the world has made. So uh, it's good to document everything that you build, whether or not you choose to put it on a portfolio website is another thing. You can also put it and then remove it, you know. It doesn't have to, once it goes on your portfolio, doesn't mean that you keep it there. If you can keep constantly refreshing it by putting your top 3 builds on it, and you will see how over months and weeks and years how that evolves. It's pretty exciting to take a moment, take a pause, and actually look back, because we're constantly focused on what do I not know? Like this technology, especially now, because the world around us moves so fast, there's just so much noise, whether you're on LinkedIn or at work or in meetings, and different people showing up, different things that they've built. It's very normal and natural to feel like you don't know enough, or you're kind of stuck in this forever catching up zone, or FOMO when something new comes up and be like, oh my God, everybody's talking about Fable. What is this awesome thing? I need to try it out. And it's often nice to kind of take a pause and look back and see what you've built and how far you've come. So all of that was my pitch and my urge for you to build your own AI portfolio. Build some agents, even if it's just one thing. Go back to my Claude for Dummies series and just build one thing, and then close this whole loop. Like, build an agent and put it on the portfolio, and put that portfolio out there. Send it to 5 people if you don't feel comfortable putting it on LinkedIn. I think those incremental steps will get you there. So then, if we are saying the portfolio is our way, is our means to getting you proof, uh, getting you to prove your work and getting your work to do the talking versus you bragging about it, what does it need to have so that it can become that proof that you want it to be? So it needs to talk about the problem that it was. And actually, let me, before I go into this framework, I want to tell you something. This framework works perfectly well for interview stories also. So I think some of you know, if you've seen my LinkedIn, if you follow me on LinkedIn, you know that I'm hiring AI product managers currently, and I'm interviewing 3, 4 candidates on a daily basis. And a big signal to me of how they think, what type of product sense they have, is when they're talking about their stories, and instead of focusing on how they solved the problem directly, if they start with what was the problem, who was facing the problem, then they go into what did they build, then they go into how did they measure that the problem is solved, and then they overall talk about closing the loop, why this was the before and this is now the after. And sure, I'm hiring and interviewing product managers, but I would I would bet that this framework would work for any other type of interview stories as well. So if you're applying for interviews or jobs and you're trying to talk about your work, if you frame it with this problem first, then what did you build to fix that? Proof, and then the actual impact that it had. I think it's going to really strengthen that narrative. It adds so much credibility to what you have done and the work you have done, rather than just saying, I built an agent that summarizes my meeting minutes. If you say, I used to spend half an hour every Friday afternoon. I used to spend my Friday lunchtime to send my team a weekly report on what I've achieved this week. And then I decided to build the weekly report agent that took my half an hour into 30 seconds. And now I come, instead of spending my lunch on Friday, I come in on Friday evening at 4 p.m. before closing my day. I look at what the agent has created, in quickly review the report, make a couple quick edits and hit send. And so now I can actually go out on lunch with my colleagues on Friday. That's so much more impactful, don't you think, than saying, I built a meeting summary agent. Like, nobody knows what that value of that meeting summary agent is. So now, if we go back to the original problem of, I don't like bragging about my stuff. I don't like telling anyone that I saved my 30 minutes of lunchtime into 30 seconds. That just seems like I'm bragging about building one agent when there are all these other smart people building multi-agentic products that make millions of dollars. How can I even talk about my one meeting summary agent? It just seems so trivial. If you are that and your internal dialogue is that, then build a portfolio and put it on a website. Then all you have to do is send a link to your boss, to your colleagues, whoever it is that you wish knew that you built this thing, but you're too you have this internal dialogue, and something inside you is telling what you've built isn't um, big enough to show off. Cool. It seems so simple, but honestly, like I've had these conversations, so I'm assuming everybody else does too from time to time, that we are always the hardest on our own achievements and what we do, and we look at other people. And my theory is that the reason we do that is because our own achievements, we have seen the whole journey, so we know all the dirty secrets of how hard it was to build this agent. But when it comes to looking at somebody else, we just see the end result or the proof point. And so we don't really know how hard they work to get to where they are. So we assume that it's all roses and um, rainbows. Okay. So numbers, tangible numbers are important to include in that portfolio. And then in what we are going to do is we're going to write one entry on Claude Design, and that's what I want to show you is that it may seem really hard, but it's building a portfolio is easier than building your agent. And that's what I want to show you. So there is no reason for you to not build it. And how many people do we have here? I am hoping let's see, how many people are we here? I'm hoping that every single one of you will build your portfolio and send me the link, and I will go and look at every single one of them. So I'm really encouraging you to build one, and I can't make it any easier than to just give you the prompt and show you how to do it. Like there is nothing more easier than this. Even writing a LinkedIn post about you building an agent is probably going to be harder. So please build this and send me the link. Let me show you let me actually show you how we are going to do that. So we're going to brief Claude Design. Um, so far, we have only worked in Claude Chat and some of co-work in the previous sessions. So let me tell you what Claude Design is. And by the way, you're not limited to Claude Design. There are a lot of other websites as well that you can do this on. But we're going to vibe code a portfolio site today. And we're going to just, in keeping with the theme, we're going to stay with Claude Design. So Claude Design is Claude's take on going beyond just words and images into creating complete artifacts. So you can build um, PowerPoints, newsletters, what's the other thing? Website. You can build a lot of things on Claude Design. So I highly encourage you to check it out. You just have to take this claude.ai/design in any browser and you will be able to see what it can do. So I'm going to give you a prompt which you can paste in Claude Design and it will build the site live with you. That prompt is designed for you to make it your own. So you can put in whatever your role, your domain is. Speaking of domain, actually, let's do a quick exercise like we do every session. Because a lot of this is not just focused on PMs, a variety of domains. Could you be my nice friends and tell me what domains you're all from? Because what I do is after these sessions, I go back and I look at the chats and the information, and that helps me make the future lightning sessions a little bit more tailored to the domains that I see. So if I see a lot of HR folks, then next time I'll give an HR example, stuff like that. So let's do a quick exercise. Take a couple of minutes. What are all the different domains that everyone is from here? Awesome. Thank you. I'm gonna let you guys keep doing while I keep talking here. Once you build that site, we are gonna put it on GitHub. So you can GitHub, for those of you who don't know GitHub, think of GitHub as like a website that can store artifacts that you have coded, vibe coded, or actual written up. Usually it's like a repository where you can store all your stuff. Think of Dropbox or Google Drive, but for coded artifacts. And the reason we need something different for coded artifacts is because it provides you version control. So every time you update it, it has a lot of audit trail. You can go back and see what changes you made, and you can revert to a previous version and stuff like that. It's not necessary, by the way. The only stuff that's necessary is to actually build a portfolio and launch it on a website, and then share the link. But I figured I'll share with you how to connect GitHub as well if you wanted to do it. And that's pretty much it. So the four parts in your portfolio entry, it needs to look like this. I have an example here. It will also be in the handout, so you can copy it from there. But I was spending, one example is 45 minutes every meeting, writing recaps and chasing action items, and follow-ups often slipped for a day or two. So this is what I built, basically what I just mentioned, in a little bit more elaborate manner. So then, actually, before we go into what doesn't work, let's quickly look at the handout and build this together, yeah? Okay. Somebody unmute and tell me if you can't see this. This handout will be part of your recap email with the recording. So you feel free to go through it. It's just a quick summary of what we talked about. For later, if you come to this a week later and you forgot what I was mentioning. So let's look at the actual template. I'm going to, and if you want to follow along as I do this, feel free to do that. So you can open Chrome and go Claude.ai/design. And you can open Claude Design. There are a couple of other things, other websites. I'm going to give you one other website if you are not a Claude user. I love this one. It's called lovable.dev. And you can pretty much, I'll show you on Claude in a second, but since the handout has that, I want to show you quickly lovable.dev. Just open lovable.dev. You can tell it to do you can ask it to build anything that you want. So you can start by telling it, I want to build the prompt that I'm giving. You can paste it here as well, and it will do it for you. But if you want to take vibe coding to the next level, you can discover templates. This is going to tell you if you want to build your own websites, you can build slides, creative portfolio, if you can build an e-commerce store, blogs. There's just a lot you can do here. And you can discover the templates by going into the template and really going down a rabbit hole. But do check that out. Okay. Let me take you to Claude Design. So first we are going to go to the handout and we are going to copy this. And I want to walk you through the actual prompt. Let me make this as big as possible. Okay. Hopefully you all can see this. Yes? Okay. So
Hi, Kayur. Can you give us the link to the because we are following along? So can you give us the link to the deck?
to the portfolio, yeah, 1 second. That's a good point. Thank you. Give me 1 second.
Okay, the thing is, it looks like this is not available. Design is not available in the free tier, I guess. I don't have a licensed,
Okay.
$20 thing. So I was
No
asking
problem.
whether it is having a similar thing in ChatGPT.
You can use a similar thing in ChatGPT for if it's not available or you don't have a paid version, just go here. I'm gonna drop the link. For those of you that don't have a paid version, go to lovable.dev. You can use this as well.
I think that also was having some credit limits and I would have run out.
Oh,
Sorry about that. Sorry.
no problem. Can you hang in after the
No
thing
problem.
and
No
then
problem. I'm here.
okay. All right, let's keep going. You all have the link to the handout. in the chat. So you can open it and let's keep going. So build me a career portfolio site. And then I'm just gonna say it's for me. And you can do this too, talk about your own. And role here, I'm just gonna say product manager at, let's say, you all don't see the link? Okay, 1 second. Okay, now can you see the link to the artifact? Okay. And then I build AI systems, agents, and workflows that save my team real hours every week. You can literally change any of this to make it more elaborate or less. And I want to explain it to Claude that this is a career portfolio, not a design or dev portfolio, because those are different, and we want Claude to know the difference. And then the main goal is to showcase my professional network and community. If you're job hunting right now, say get hired instead. So you can say showcase for community and get hired. And when I'm not going to say that, I'll leave it like this. So now projects to feature. And here what you will do is take the entries. So let me take these entries that we have created in the deck. So we're gonna say copy this entry, but you would have created your own agent, so you can copy that entry as well. So basically in design, you can paste 3 to 5. I'm just going to paste one here, this one. So the main goal and then project to feature is this. Meeting recap agent. That's the name of the project. And here are the problems it was solving. And then content readiness. So here, if I have a headshot, I can add it here, extra images, whatever else I wanted to add, I can add it there. I can also tell it to put placeholder. So we're just gonna ask the first version, we're just gonna ask it to put a placeholder. Lisa, your question is, what do I put if I don't have those entries ready yet?
Right now we don't have them, but I still want to build a page, so.
Yeah, so you can do one of two things. You can just put problem, create a placeholder, create a placeholder like that, or you can put made up content and then go back and change it. Either way will work. Okay. And then I'm asking it to, whatever your style is, if you have some preferences, you can say, here's the structure. So homepage with a project grid, an individual case study page per project, and an about page. That's what I said I want. You can add more layers to it. You can go here. Though there is another thing you can do is you can actually give it screenshots. If you saw somebody else's portfolio that you like the layout, so I can go here, for example, in Lovable and look at this portfolio design that is given as template, and it has projects, about, and contact. So I can just say that here as well. Homepage with a project, about page, and contact. You can totally change any of these entries to suit you, and feel free to experiment. You can iterate on it a few different times. That's totally cool until it looks the way you want it to look. I say confident and bold, not corporate flat, no jargons. Oh, and I left a feedback here because if you are building a portfolio for legal or health tech, you can say make it formal, professional, conservative, succinct, not overly verbose. You can put whatever tone you want here. And then visual density, I like minimal design. So that's what I put here. Very minimal, lots of white space. Let the proof carry the page, not too noisy. And you can decide how you want it. If you like bold colors, you can tell it use bold colors. Um, or use a specific color palette. You can give it all sorts of instructions here, and you can really go elaborate on telling it how you want it to design something like you would tell an actual designer. And then interactive patterns, I wanted to have subtle hover and scroll animations only. If you don't have a preference, you can totally remove this. That's not necessary, and it'll just make some assumptions or it will ask you. So and then that's all you do. You hit build and see where that lands you. So now it's asking me all sorts of questions because it doesn't know all the details. So I'm saying one real plus 2, 3 placeholder cards. I can also say just build placeholders for everything. So Lisa, for your case, you can say just build placeholders and that's fine as well. What should the about page cover? So it can say if you wanted to just cover who you are today, or you can say you wanted to cover your whole resume, however you like it, your skills, your tools, contact info, resume link. So you can pick a couple of different things. You can even put in other what options you want. So I'll let you iterate on yours. I'm just gonna make some selections. What does the before after proof? So I'm saying add placeholders for everything. And then now it's asking me to pick a design system. Which kind would I like? So it will ask you, it could ask you also. So you can just pick whatever one you want. And normally just for zoomed in here. Yeah. I'm too zoomed in. So anyway, there is a little continue button on the bottom right side. You can look at that. And then we are going to let it cook, and it's going to come up and create that design for us. While it does that, I will show you now how to go from a Claude design. When it's done building this, it's gonna give you an actual design. So let's add this into a connection with GitHub, how to make it go to an actual URL. So the way we do that is, how do we connect our GitHub account? So you'll need to create a GitHub account if you don't already have one. And this step, what I'm going to show you now, is completely optional. So I am going to now share my Claude account and show you how to create a connection. Bear with me. Okay. Did everybody follow along? I'm opening my Claude. So until then, I'm asking you if you need help. Did everyone follow along so far?
Kayuri, I'm having a little trouble. I have the desktop. I have a $20 subscription with Claude.
Mm-hmm.
So on desktop, do you have access to the design? Because
Yes. On your desktop page, you will see on your left side. So hold on. If you look on the bottom left corner, just above your name where it says Pro,
Uh-huh.
look above that, it should say design. You can click on that. So there isn't a design, a desktop version of Claude Design. So it will bring you to this website anyway, regardless.
Oh, okay.
So you will still, regardless, have to open the Claude Design website. So you may as well, go ahead and open it on
And
the
somehow it's not letting me go into the website, and it's not recognizing my subscription. So I think I have to go from the desktop or what, I don't know. I'm trying.
Yeah, you would probably have to go from the desktop or go into claude.ai/design. And then on the top right corner, it will ask you to log in. You can do that also. So you can log in with the same username.
I tried that and it didn't work. It says you don't have access something to design. I don't know why. That's why I'm trying to log into my desktop and it's taking some time.
Okay, so in that case, I would say try the version on Lovable and then hang around here after, and then I can see if I can help you after.
Okay. I'll try the Lovable though in the meantime.
Yeah, no problem. So now let us quickly show you how you can connect Claude to to GitHub. So you're gonna go into, hold on, let me find you in,
You have one shared your screen.
oh yes. One second. All right, can you guys see my screen now? The big screen. Okay, so here you will see the Claude homepage that I have here, and you can see how I'm using it everywhere. But go into customize, and when you go into customize, on the left side on the bottom here, you will see connectors. Here you can go ahead.
It's
Can you
very
make it
small. We've got
larger?
a couple pages open.
Okay, how's now? Is this better? Hold on, let me try to
Yeah.
show it again.
Yeah, it still needs to be zoomed in a little bit.
Still, okay, 1 second. All right, let us, okay. On Claude, on the actual Claude, not design, if you go here and click customize, and on the left panel here, you can click connectors. It will help you or show you a whole bunch of things that you can connect. In here, you have GitHub integration. If you click and follow along the instructions, it's going to take you to a login page for GitHub, and it will have you go and connect GitHub. Like it's asking me to connect my GitHub account. I don't want to connect GitHub account right now, but for you, if you want to do it, you can go ahead and follow along these paths. And this is how you can connect any of your connectors as well. You can connect your Claude to Gmail, to GitHub, anything like that. So let's go back now to the portfolio website and see what it has done. Actually, it would be a good exercise to copy the same prompt that we gave and give it to, let's see what it's doing. This is another thing. Sometimes just doesn't work like just now. So let's see what's, okay, there we go. But this window is too big, so. Okay, let's look here on the left side. You can see it is still building. It's still thinking and reading. That's why the controls aren't there. It's building as we go. It hasn't done yet, but it will. This is a quick show of what it looks like, and you can refresh it on the end. Once it's done, you'll be able to see this. So I'm gonna let it cook, and maybe we come back and see what it's done after the fact. And now, because time is running out, I want to quickly talk to you about what to watch out for. So what not to add in your portfolio, and kind of looks like a red flag when somebody else is looking at a portfolio. So make sure that the impact, instead of saying saved a lot of time, have the impact real crisp and succinct. How many minutes, hours it saved, dollar amount that it saved, whatever the actual impact was, make sure it's quantified. After alone is not enough. So always it's better if you draw parallels between what it ended up being and what the before was. That puts things into perspective. Instead of entering one big entry or subjective stuff, like if somebody says, how do you use AI? I'm hoping that your answer is not, I use AI for everything, and then stop there. Please go into detail. And I personally wouldn't even care if you said I use AI for everything, but if you were to able to give an example of I use AI in my reporting needs, or I use AI to keep me updated before meeting preparations and things like that. If you were to do that, that would be super duper helpful. 50% faster is great. We see that in resumes as well now, but like if you can give a little bit more, that would be helpful, like 50% faster of what? Capturing it too late. This is something, if you build something, put it on the portfolio, at least write the brief, the 4-part framework that I mentioned, write it and save it somewhere so it's top of mind for you. And then as much as I'm bullish on Claude and I use Claude for everything, I don't, if you want to do it that way, that's fine. But I prefer to focus on the actual problem and the solution as opposed to tools. So if somebody says, how do you use AI, instead of saying, I know how to use Claude and I know how to use Gemini and ChatGPT and I know how to connect GitHub on Claude, all of those are means to an end. So focus on the actual outcome. I think that's a better, more credible way of showing what you know. So far, so good. Okay. So in the deck, you're going to have the portfolio link handout that I shared, so you don't need to worry about that. There is also a link if you want to get a week free of cowork. And the last thing I want to mention is that tomorrow we are starting, I mentioned Saturdays, we're doing the course. Just a quick overview on what the course is and how it's shaping up to be. So a few things. Actually, I think I should just share this with you. I've been talking to a lot of people. I think I spoke to 30 people this week. I see some of you here on this call as well. I spoke to you earlier about what the course is all about and laying out the structure of the course and so forth. So it's a 4-week course. The point isn't what the course is, but what I want to share really, and it occurred to me, is somebody said, a friend, I'm not going to name who you are, but you are here. You said, I have been trying to learn AI by myself since January, and there's just so much noise online. I don't know what to learn. I don't know. There's just so much jargon. It all seems to be built for technical people. And I was trying to explain to you how the course is set up. It's 4 weeks, and essentially we are in August. And if you've been trying to do this, if it's going great for you, then fantastic. But we are already in almost August. And if you had a New Year's resolution like this person to be AI savvy this year, and they've been trying to watch YouTube videos and learn, and come August, they're like, nope, Too chaotic, too much noise, not enough signal. I spend 2 hours trying to figure out what the right YouTube video for me to watch is. And then I watch it and then I still feel FOMO because I don't feel like I learned enough. So that's exactly why I designed this course. 4 weeks, you are learning AI concepts, you're learning the language. And that's important because once you learn the ABCs and how to form basic words, you can read any book. This technology is moving fast, really, really fast. So if somebody tells you that I'm going to make you super savvy in 4 weeks and then you're never going to need to learn something again, I'm telling you that's not the case. So I'm going to teach you the alphabets in the course. I'm going to teach you the words. I'm going to teach you how to build your own AI agents while you learn these concepts. So you're learning the concepts, you're learning the language, and you're applying it to build agents that automate and optimize your own workflow. Right? That's the cycle. And we do this 4 times over 4 weeks. So we start with building. In week 1, we map where AI fits your real work. Then we talk to Claude like a pro. So we teach Claude how to give you repeatable, predictable results. And we build an agent every single week. And by the time you're in week 4, you have 4 agents minimum. You have these agents talking to each other, pretty much a lot of your workflows automated while learning the language, while knowing what tokens and hallucination and context, while all of these, what it means, so that you have the language, the vocabulary to deal with anything, any new thing that comes out 2 months from now, after this course is done. You will be able to read a news article and make sense of what it is and distill it for yourself. So learning the vocabulary so you can keep training yourself, upskilling yourself for a long time to come. And of course, as part of the cohort, you're going to be in the Slack community. So once you're in that, that's for life. And in the community with my cohort, with myself, my mentors, the access is there for you for time to come. So that's a very long-winded way of saying, if you started January with an internal goal of, I want to be AI savvy, I want to move ahead on career, I want to be the go-to AI person in my company, or I want to move into an AI native role for my domain, whatever that goal is, and come August, if you haven't made much progress because there's just too much noise and not enough signal, then please come join me in this cohort. 4 weeks. I do the background work of filtering noise and signal, and I only present to you what you absolutely need to know to become the go-to AI person. 4 hours every week, 2 hours of live lessons, 2 hours of little bit more homework, hand building. But you will be like, I want to say go from zero to hero, but you're all heroes to begin with. So go from hero to AI savvy hero. How about that in 4 weeks? That's kind of the plan. If you're interested, please, the link is in the deck here. Also, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'll be more than happy to get on a call with you. We start tomorrow. So time's kind of running out. If you want to get on a call, send me a message on LinkedIn and I'll be happy to chat with you and share with you what we need to do. And for those of you, I see a lot of folks who've already joined the course. I'm really, really excited. You would have received an email from me yesterday with instructions on how to find your way around the course. So please go ahead and watch that 4-minute video to kind of orientate to yourself on what to expect tomorrow. And I am super excited to see you tomorrow morning in the cohort at 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. PST. That is all I wanted to share today. There was a lot. I didn't take a break and I didn't let you guys ask any questions. So I will pause here. I'm going to stop sharing so you can see me. And I'm here if you have any questions. You're welcome to ask me questions.
So yeah, Kayuri, can I go ahead? I was able to
Yeah, please
get
go
on
ahead.
design. So the prompt, the master prompt that you gave us, I copy that in there, and then we just have to fill in the few things in there and then go from there, right? Because you went so fast, I was a little behind.
Yes, sorry. Yeah, these sessions are so
I
45
know.
minutes and too much to cover. So that's kind of why I rushed through them. But that's kind of the idea. So let me.
And I have connected with you on LinkedIn, so we will be connected. But I guess we just have to fill in the blanks if we have those, and if you don't have those projects, then what? That's what my question is.
So then you first build the project because you can't show off something that you don't have. So then
Right.
if you don't already have the project, in order the purpose of the portfolio is to show what you know already. So if you haven't built an AI agent, then go back and build the agent, and that you can do by watching my Claude for Dummies series. If
Can
you
I have the link on that?
Yeah, so can somebody from my team actually drop the link to Claude for
Sh-
Dummies series? It's in the deck
It's
as
on it's on YouTube. We have just shared the link as well. Everything is there on YouTube. It's
Oh,
free.
it is. Okay, okay. I got the YouTube link. So
perfect. Yeah, and that's kind of once you enter the prompt, it will just keep going and build the actual uh, portfolio for you. Then you can keep editing just like AI. So let me quickly show you what it built. I think it's more or less finished. But just like when you ask it to draft an email, it will create a draft and then you tell it, oh, I don't like this word, go reword it. You can do the same for this website. So it created this for me. And it used a pretty basic language and it put, like you can see, it put placeholders for pretty much everything. And when you are ready, you can go back in the chat functionality and just talk to it like you normally talk to it, like, I don't like the color coding, use bold colors or something. And you hit send, it will redo the whole thing. You can also say, can you add another tab at the top? And it will go ahead and add a tab at the top. And you just keep iterating until you are comfortable. When you feel comfortable, you can go to share and you can publish as artifact. And it will publish it like an HTML file, which you can then share with people. Yandy, go ahead.
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for teaching.
Well, Yandy, how are you?
Good, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So I have a few agents, I have a few skills, I have a few automations, integrations. So I'm pretty acclimated when it comes down to agents and workflows and things. What I don't understand is artifacts. So how would you help me understand the difference between agents and workflows and skills and that kind of thing as compared to artifacts? And when do you see that it makes more sense to have an artifact than it is to have an agent and a workflow and that kind of thing?
Yeah, great question. So the way I think of skills is a single turn thing that I need something to do. So for example, drafting an email can be a skill. Looking up a, looking up an information from a specific place is a skill. A workflow is when you need few different things to be done together. So for example, meeting summary, let's take meeting summary agent, right? Meeting summary agent, for me to build a meeting summary agent, I need it to, and I'll tell you what the difference. So let's say skill is one task, one thing. So skill is me reading call transcripts. That's one task. So it's a call transcript summarization is a skill. Now a workflow is read the call transcript, summarize it, and send me a draft a summary email. So now this workflow is using three skills, right? Reading the call transcript, summarizing the call transcript, and creating a summary draft email. So that's a workflow. Workflow skill is one thing, it can do one thing. Workflow is when you do three different things, but you connect them together, but you have to do it manually. So for example, you invoke the read meeting summary skill, it will read and give you the information. Then you say, now go ahead and summarize this meeting. So then it will create a summary. Then you copy and paste the summary and say, Now create an email that I can send to my boss and use the tone to be professional, keep it succinct. My boss loves bullet points. That's the drafting an email skill. So you use 3 skills, but in between one skill to the next to this next, you had to manually intervene, take work from one skill, pass it on to the other, take work from second skill, pass it on to the other. But when you do all of this together, that is what we call a workflow. Now, agent is where it can autonomously take action. So when you say, I want to build an agent, you're basically giving instructions to that agent saying, make sure you read all my meeting summaries from Monday to Friday, summarize all of it and create an email that I want you then to actually send to my boss at 4 p.m. every Friday. So you asked it to take actions, which is the send an email to the boss action at a specific cadence or a schedule, 4 p.m. every Friday. And then now it's done. It's fire and forget. You scheduled this automation, this agent to do all of these, and the agent will know which meetings to summarize, how to create a draft, and things like that. All of this that's how the evolution happens from skill to workflow to agent. The artifact is exactly what the definition of the word is. It's a output. It could be a PDF, it could be an HTML file, it could be a slide, it could be whatever, but a thing that it creates. So in our case, the artifact is the actual email that gets generated. And you could say, when you send an email, keep track of all the emails that you send as artifacts in a Word document on this Google Drive, and then it will generate that artifact. But that's kind of how the ladder works. We went into way too much detail here for this session, but I hope that answers your question, Yandy. Kunal, go ahead.
Yeah, I had a question. So let's say you are building the portfolio, and in the past I've worked with platform and some SaaS products, and many times they tend to be proprietary. So how you may not necessarily have the exact snapshots of the artifacts because you cannot necessarily take them out of your company's domain because I don't think that's allowed. What's the workaround? Thanks.
Very, very subjective, right? Like ideally, in this case, you're working on a company provided Claude account where you are allowed to give and work with the data. The workaround is describing, because you can't take screenshots of your company information and give it to Claude. Like I highly advise you not to take your company detail and give it to a Claude outside company.
Exactly.
So in that case, you are going to just explain to Claude information that's not proprietary. So for example, if I'm building an agent outside of work for brainstorming, for example, then I cannot give my personal Claude my company information. So I will give my personal Claude just a level idea of what my role is. I am a product director at Applied Systems. This is my mandate. This is my goal. I can't give you the data, but give me hypotheticals and ask me questions. And you're basically having an interaction and putting a lot of assumptions and placeholders in absence of that data.
Okay, I mean, you can still have the KPIs and the metrics. Some of that you might have visibility to, but it's just those artifacts which are associated, which you may not have access to, or
Yeah.
you would not want to put it out there.
Exactly. You may have access, but you shouldn't put it in your personal version of the Claude.
Got it. Sorry, I had one other quick question. In some of the roles which I have had, the last one, let's say you are with a consulting setup and you're actually functioning as a product manager for a client. In those cases, also sometimes many of the KPIs or the metrics at the very end are not necessarily those which may be shared. Some may be shared, some may not be shared. So in such cases, how do you quantify impact? Because I know you spoke about quantifying impact, and sometimes it's not all that black and white. It might be gray or might not just be accessible in its fullest sense. Yeah.
Yeah, ideally what I've seen is if you're building something, right, it's almost always you're focused on the problem. And what problem are you solving, and whatever you may not have KPIs at the highest company level, you may not have access to the data that maybe the C-suite executives have at the company, but then at your level, whatever granular data you do have, or whatever signals, proof points you do have that tell you that this thing is a problem, is what you're quantifying, right? Like, it's a problem because X is happening or Y is happening. And then I like to use the 5 why technique to keep on asking why it's a problem, how do I know it's a problem, and keep going deeper into that. So you have some metric that you are trying to optimize when you're building something. And if you're not, then we have a bigger problem,
Of
right? If you're
course.
not building to solve something,
Mhm.
or if you're not clear on why you're building something, then portfolio is the least of our problems.
Of course. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Fantastic interactive session. Thank you so much for keeping it fun for me. And I hope to see you soon.